So in continuation with the last session of Mixtures and Alligations, I am back again to take the second session on Mixtures and Alligations, and we'll be solving a few sums in this session as well, so that you get more insight into how to address such numericals. So the question in this session says, the first question says, in the 75 liters of mixture of milk and water, the ratio of milk and water is 4:1. The quantity of water required to make the ratio of milk and water 3:1 is. So what are they trying to say? That I have a mixture in which there is milk and water, and the ratio is 4:1. And the total quantity is 75 liters. I need to add some water to it so that the resultant mixture will have a ratio of milk and water to 3:1. Now if you see, in the mixture we have added water. So the quantity of milk is not going to change. So here it is 4, so we need to make both these quantities same. We'll multiply this by 3 and this by 4. So what happens? This ratio becomes 12:3 and this becomes 12:4. So now milk in both the cases became same. How much I have added here? I have added here 1 of water. This is milk, this is water. So that is in the terms of ratio. Now this 12 plus 3 is 15, whose value is given to me. The total is 75 liters in terms of quantity. So 1 will represent 5. And what value we have to find? We have to find the value of 1 only, because 1 water has been added in terms of ratio. So 5 liters of water must be added to make the ratio 3:1 of milk and water. The next question. In what proportion water must be mixed with spirit to gain 12.5% by selling it at cost price? So there is spirit and there is water. So the initial price, when purely the spirit itself, if I am selling it at, let us say, 100, the resultant mixture after adding water also I am selling it at the same cost price. But I am having a profit of 12.5%. But this 12.5% I am getting it because of adding water into it. So this 12.5%, which is in terms of fraction as 1/8, is purely due to addition of water, which means in spirit of 8, I am adding 1 water. So I am adding in the ratio 8:1 or 1:8. Water is being added to spirit. So so this is spirit to water. I am being asked water to spirit, so it is 1:8. Yeah. Oh, Butler stole wine from a butt of sherry containing 50% of spirit. Then he replenished it by different wine containing 20% spirit. Thus, there was only 30% strength of spirit in the new mixture. How much of the original wine did he steal? So in the previous session also we have done a similar question. So what's happening here is, I have a wine in bottle 1 or in a sherry 1, and I have a wine which is in a different butt of sherry. Here it contains 50% and here it contains 20%. and when I mixed it, the resultant contains 30%, which means this is 10%, the difference, and this is 20%, which means 1:2. So from this, I stole, and this is what I replaced. So how much did I replace? 2. Which means from this, 2 must have got stolen because the equal quantity was replaced. तो अगर इसमें से 2 चुराया गया था और 1 बच गया उसके बाद में, तो ओरिजिनल कितना हुआ होगा? 3, राइट? और अपने को पता कितना ओरिजिनल मिक्सचर से स्टोल किया था, तो मतलब 2 स्टील किया 3 में से, तो 2/3 स्टील किया ना, 2/3 is the answer. Yeah.
So the next question is, Bania sells 2 types of tea, with Desi Chai and Videshi Chai. He sells Desi Chai at rupees 18 per kg and incurs a loss of 10%. Whereas on selling the Videshi Chai at rupees 30 per kg, he gains 20%. In what proportion should the Desi Chai and Videshi Chai be mixed such that he can gain a profit of 25% by selling the mixture at 27.5 per kg? What a beautiful sound. See, what's happening is that they have given the selling price in all the cases, but at the same time they have given different percentages of loss and profit. So if you have to apply alligation, if you try to apply alligation either on the gain percentage or the selling price, the thought process is okay, but you will not reach to a conclusion. So the best way to address such type of problems is we try to calculate the cost price in each case, because we know the selling price and we know the percentages of loss or profit. So in first case, which is a Desi Chai, and Videshi Chai, what was the selling price? 18 rupees. And what percentage of loss did he incur? 10%. 10% means in fraction terms 1/10. मतलब 10 पे 1 का loss, which means if his sell was 10, if his cost was 10, he sold it at 9. That was it means. And this 9 value is given as 18, right? So 1 का value कितना होगा? 2. तो 10 का value कितना होगा? 20. Which means the cost price of Desi Chai is 20 per kg. Now let's come to Videshi Chai. Videshi Chai, he sells 30 per kg. That is the selling price. And he gains 20%. Which means in terms of fraction, it is 1/5. मतलब 5 का cost होगा तो उसने 6 में बेचा, और ये 6 की वैल्यू उसने 30 दे रखी है, तो 1 की वैल्यू 5 होगी, तो 5 की वैल्यू 25 होगी, which means the cost price of Videshi Chai is 25 per kg. Now he mixes and sells it at 27.5 rupees. तो मिक्सचर का क्या प्राइस है? 27.5. बट प्रॉफिट कितना है? 25%. 25% in fraction is 1/4. It's a profit. मतलब कॉस्ट अगर 4 होगा तो 5 में बेचा होगा. What is the value of 5? 27.5. So what will be value of 4? 4/5 into 27.5, which is equals to 22. Correct? 5 is 5. 22. So ये mixture का price 22 है. Now if I apply 25 minus 22 is 3, 20 minus 3 is 2. So इनका जो quantity होगा, उसका जो ratio होगा, वो इन rates के difference का होगा. 3:2 is the answer. Correct? Very important. Very good sound. 450 liters of mixture of milk and water contains milk and water in the ratio 9:1. Okay. How much water should be added to get a new mixture containing milk and water in the ratio 3:1? Okay. So there is milk there is water. They are in the ratio 9:1 and the total quantity is 450. Now I am adding some water to it. After adding the water, the ratio becomes 3:1. So we have added water. We have not made any changes in the milk. So milk अगर यहाँ 9 है, so here also it should be 9. So to make this 9, I will multiply this ratio by 3. So this ratio will become 9:3. So after this ratio became 9:3, the water was 1, it became 3, which means how much did I add? 2 in terms of ratio. Okay, now what is the value of this? 10, 9 plus 1, 10, whose value is given to me as 450. So 1 will be 45. So 2 will be 90. So 90 liters of water I will add to make the ratio 3:1. Correct? Next. The ratio of petrol and kerosene in the container is 3:2. When 10 liters of mixture is taken out and it is replaced by the kerosene, the ratio becomes 2:3. The total quantity of the mixture in the container is, so that is petrol and there is kerosene. They are in the proportion 3:2. Now I am taking 10 liters of mixture out. So if I take 10 liters of the mixture out, the proportion of petrol and kerosene will not change because I have taken the entire mixture out. It will still remain 3:2. Now I am adding some kerosene to it. And the ratio becomes 2:3. Correct? Which I have not touched petrol, which means petrol should remain the same. So I will multiply this by 2 and this by 3. So this ratio will become 6:4 and this will become 6:9. Correct? Which means how much kerosene I have added? I have added 5 in terms of ratio. And what did this say? When 10 liters of mixture is taken out and replaced by kerosene, which means I have replaced 10 liters of kerosene, which means that in terms of ratio it is 5, in terms of liters it is 10. So in term, one ratio will become 2 liters. Yes or no? Now, this total ratio is how much? 10. 6 plus 4, 10. 1 is 2 liters, so 10 will become 20 liters. Which means after taking out, this would have been 20 liters. मेरे को original पूछा हुआ है. So if I add 10 to this, 30 liters should have been the original solution. Clear? Next. How many kilograms of sugar worth rupees 3.6 per kg should be mixed with 8 kg of sugar worth rupees 4.2 per kg, such that by selling the mixture at rupees 4.4 per kg, there may be a gain of 10%. So I will say that sugar type 1 and sugar type 2. Here the rate is 3.6 per kg. Here the rate is 4.2 per kg. This weight is 8 kg. This weight I don't know. I'll take it as X. And now they have sold this at 4.4. So see, this is the cost. This also is the cost. So here also it should be the cost. But I'm not being given the cost directly. I'm being given the selling price. So selling price is 4.4 per kg. But I've been given 10% gain. 10% gain in fraction is 1 upon 10. Which means 10 का जो cost था वो 11 में बेचा होगा, because for 10 he is gaining 1 because it is a 10% gain. I've been given the price of 11 as 4.4. The price of 1 would be 0.4. The price of 10 would be 4. The cost price of this is 4 per kg. Yes or no? So this will be 0.2, 4.2 minus 4, and this will be 0.4. So this will be 2, this will be 4. The ratio is 1:2. So I'm been asked the value of this x, correct? Now the value of 2 is 8 kg, which means the value of 1 would be 4 kg. As simple as that. Or you can simply do it as x upon 8 is 1 upon 2. So x is 8 upon 2. So x is 4. This is the answer. Correct? Let's move ahead. The average salary per head of all employees in a company is rupees 600. So there are a lot of employees in the company. The average salary of a person per head is 600. The average salary of 120 officers, which means out of those total quantity of employees, 120 are officers, whose average salary is 4,000 rupees. The average salary per head of the rest of the employees. So total may say if you remove officers, the rest employees, their average salary is 560. Find the total number of workers in the company. So can we divide the company in officers and others? Right? I know the officers are 120 because I've been given that. Others quantity I do not know. And I know the average salary of the officers is 4,000. And the average salary of others is 560. Okay? And also I know the total average of all the employees is 600. Clear? Which means the difference of the average salary is, this is 40, this is 3,400. 0 से 0 कट गया. This is 2. Okay, I can do it by 2, 170. 1 is to 85. Which means the ratio of officers to others is same as 1 upon 85. So the others should be 85 into 120. So 12 into 85, let us do 0, 1, 6, 16, 6, 1, 9, 0, 2, 1, 10. So this should be 10,200. So I mean ask total. So I will add 120 to this. 0, 2, 3, 0, 1. So this is the answer. Correct? Next. A container has a capacity of 20 gallons and it is full of spirit. 4 gallons of spirit is drawn out from the container and it is filled with water, which means 4 gallons are taken out of spirit and they are replaced by water. This process is repeated 5 times. Find out how much spirit is left in the resulting mixture finally. So as in the previous session we saw, what is getting removed continuously? The spirit. So we will apply this formula on the final quantity and initial quantity of spirit or repeated removal on spirit. So I can say final quantity of spirit is initial quantity into the fraction left. So fraction left is how much? 4 gallons are removed. So 16 are left. 16 are left out of 20. So the fraction left is 4 by 5. The fraction left is 4 by 5. And this is repeated 5 times. So this is how it is. Now I know the initial quantity, which is 20. Correct? And this is 4 upon 5. Right? So we have to find out this quantity. So this would be 20 into 4 raised to 5 upon 5 raised to 5. So this I can write it as 4 into 5. So ultimately this will become 4 raised to 6 and this will become 5 raised to 4. Okay. So I know 4 raised to 4 is 256 and 4 square will be 16 and 5 raised to 4 is 625. So if I see 256 into 16, 6, 3, 30, 3, 3, 12, 15, 6, 5, 2, 6, 9, 0, 1, 4, 0, 9, 6. So can we 625 into 6 is 1250 into 1250, 2500, or I can say this will be 625 into 6, 0, 3, 6, so 12, 15, 5, 1, 36, 3750. 3750 plus 346 is 6904096. I think this is the answer. Correct? Got it? Next. In what ratio should water be mixed with soda costing rupees 12 liters per liter so as to make a profit of 25% by selling the diluted liquid at rupees 13.75 per liter? So whenever such questions come, we always assume that water which is being mixed or diluted is normally we take it as a free of cost. So there is soda, there is water. The cost is 12. इसका cost तो मैं 0 ले लूं. The mixture, I have sold it at 13.75. So I cannot take 13.75 as the value here because that's the selling price and these are costs. So I have to find out the cost of this. So by selling it at 13.75, how much profit did they make? 25%. So in 25% means 1 upon 4, which means if the cost is 4, they have gained 1 on it, which means they have sold it at 5. The value of 5 is 13.75. So value of 1 would be 5 2s are 10, 0.37, 7 are 35, 2.75. So what will be the value of 4? I will multiply 2.75 into 4. So that would be, let us try to calculate. 2 times if I do it will become 5.5 and 11 I can say. So this will be 11. So 11 minus 0 is 11 and 12 minus 1, this is 1. So the soda and water in what ratio? So 11 is to 1, but they have asked me the ratio of water to soda. The answer should be 1 is to 11. Clear? So the another sum, a vessel is full of a mixture of kerosene and petrol in which there is 18% kerosene. 8 liters are drawn off and then the vessel is filled with petrol. If the kerosene is now 15%, how much does the vessel put? So now if you see here, we are not been given the initial quantity. So we can assume it as 100 liters. So if initial quantity was 100 liters, kerosene is 18%. So it will be 18 liters. And we are removing 8 liters from it and we are adding again 8 liters. So the removal is of kerosene. So if I say X liters was the initial quantity of kerosene. So I have removed x minus 8. Total was, so the fraction left is x minus 8 upon x. And I know my final quantity of kerosene upon total final quantity is initial quantity of kerosene, which is x upon total final quantity. Correct? So can I say the ratio is final quantity was 15, initial quantity was x, initial quantity was 18, here also it remains x, x minus 8 upon x. This x will get cancelled, which means this will be 5, this will be 6. So 5x is 6x minus 48. So the initial quantity that a vessel must be holding was 48 liters. Clear? Next. What will be the ratio of petrol and kerosene in the final solution formed by mixing petrol and kerosene that are present in 3 vessels of equal capacity in the ratios 4:1, 5:2 and 6:1? This type of problems usually come in CAT or GMAT exams. We need to understand what they've asked. So we have 3 vessels, vessel 1, vessel 2 and vessel 3. So there is petrol and there is kerosene. There is petrol, there is kerosene, there is petrol, there is kerosene. And the ratios are 4:1, 5:2 and 6:1. Correct? Now they are saying that all these vessels with equal capacities are mixed together, which means here the total quantity is 5, here the total quantity is 7 in terms of ratio, and here the total quantity is 7. Are they same? No. Each of them are different. इसमें 7 है, इसमें 7 है, इसमें 5 है. So let us first make them equal. So what I will do, I will multiply this by 7, I will multiply this by 5, and I will multiply this by 5. So what will this become? 28:7. What will this become? 25:10. And what will this become? 30:5. So now in all the cases, the total capacity became 35 each. Now I can mix them. So when I mix them, all ratios, because the quantities are same now. If the quantities are same, I can directly add all this respective stuff. So 28 plus 25 is 40, 53, and this will become 83. And this will become 7 plus 5, 12 plus 10, 22. So 83:22 is the answer. Understood? So what we did was, first we made the capacities equal. Once we made the capacities equal, we can merge all the ratios together. And that's how we got the answer. Clear? A 20% gain is made by selling the mixture of 2 types of ghee at rupees 480 per kg. If the type costing 610 per kg was mixed with 126 kg of the other type, how many kilograms of the former was mixed? So there is type 1 ghee, there is type 2 ghee, and I am making a 20% gain by selling at 480. So this is my SP, and 20% gain means 1/5 which means if 5 was the cost, I have a gain of 1, which means my profit is, my selling price is 6, whose value is given to me as 480. So value of 1 would be 80. So value of 5 would be 400. Right? So the cost price here is 400 of mixture. If the type costing 610 per kg, so let us say this type was 610 per kg. Mixture is 400 per kg. Was mixed with 126 kg of other. So this quantity I know. This I don't know. I don't know the rate of this also. So now if I do 400 minus y and 610 minus 400 is 210. So I will get 400 minus y upon 210 is x upon 126. So I got one equation with two variables. So I do not have enough data for which I can answer this question. So answer is cannot be determined. I cannot solve one equation with two variables. Next. 4 gallons are drawn from a case full of wine. It is then filled with water. 4 gallons of mixtures are again drawn and cask is refilled with water. The ratio of quantity of wine now left in the cask to the mixture in it was 36:49. So what are they saying? Let us say there was a can which was full of wine. So let us say there was X liters of wine. How much wine did we remove? We removed X minus 4. So what is left? Fraction left. X minus 4 is left out of X. So this is the fraction which is left. And this process was repeated 2 times. So this will become square. So what I can say is final quantity of wine upon final total quantity is initial quantity of wine upon initial total quantity into fraction left. Correct? Now this ratio I have been given. This was 36 and this was 49. This was X and this also is X. And this is X minus 4 upon X the whole square. Correct? This will get cancelled. So 36 upon 49 is X minus 4 upon X ka square. Which means if I take square root on both the sides, X minus 4 upon X is 6 upon 7. 7x minus 28 is 6x. So 7x minus 6x is 28. So x is 28 liters. And what was x? The initial quantity in the container or in the cask. That's what I have been asked. 28 gallons is the answer. Understood? Next. There is a vessel which is holding 40 liters of milk. 4 liters of milk is initially taken out from the vessel and 4 liters of water is poured in it. After this, 5 liters of mixture is replaced with 5 liters of water. And finally, 6 liters of mixture is replaced with 6 liters of water. How much milk in liters is there in the vessel? So what's happening over here is that we are removing 4 liters first and then adding 4 liters water. In second case, we are removing 5 liters and adding 5 liters. In third case, we are removing 6 liters and adding 6 liters. So in this case, the process is repeated, but the removal quantity and adding quantities are different in every process. So we have to apply the same formula. So final quantity is initial quantity. So first 4 liters of milk are removed, which means 4 out of 40 are removed, which means 1/10 is removed, which means 9/10 is left. So first time 9/10 of the fraction is left. Now second time 5 liters is removed. So 5 liters out of 40 is removed, which means 1/8 is removed, which means 7/8 is left. So second time the fraction left is 7/8. Now third time 6 liters is taken out. So 6 out of 40 is taken out, which means 3/20th is taken out, which means 17/20 is left. So third time 17/20 is left. So all we have to do is we have to just solve this. 10, this will be 4. 4, this will be 2. So 63 into 17/40. So 63 into 17 is 21, 1, 2, 42, 44, 3, 6, 1, 7, 10. So if I divide 1071 with 40, 42s are 80. So this will be 7, 27, 271, 46 jar, 240. I don't have to further calculate this, right? Because option should be 26.775 because there's only one option with 26. Can we move ahead? So the next sum is, from a vessel containing pure milk, 9 liters is taken out. It is replaced with an equal quantity of water. This operation is repeated twice. The ratio of milk and water now in the vessel is 16:9. What was the volume of milk in the vessel initially? So there was a vessel. There was a vessel. Let us say there was X liters of milk in it. 9 liters is taken out. So how much is left? X minus 9. And the fraction left is X minus 9 upon X. So this is the fraction left. Now, finally, the ratio of milk is to water is 16:9, which means milk upon total would be 16/16 plus 9, that is 16/25, which means this is final quantity of milk upon final total quantity. So now we'll apply our concept, final quantity of milk upon total final quantity should be equals to initial quantity of milk upon initial total quantity into fraction left, which is X minus 9 upon X ka square. So final quantity of milk upon total final quantity is 16/25. Initial quantity was X upon total initial quantity also was X. So this will get cancelled if I take square root on both the sides. Cross multiply. So the total capacity of the vessel must be 45 liters. So the next sum goes like, a vessel contains a mixture of two liquids A and B in the ratio 7:5. When 9 liters of mixture is taken out and the vessel is filled with B, the ratio of A and B is now 7:9. How many liters of liquid A was there in the vessel initially? So क्या बोला है? एक वेसल है जिसके अंदर दो लिक्विड्स हैं, A and B. They are in the ratio 7:5. Then what do? I removed 9 liters out of it. After removing 9 liters of solution or mixture, the ratio doesn't change. It will still remain as 9.5. Then I'm replacing this with liquid B, which means I'm adding 9 liters. Again filling it, which means I'm again adding 9 liters. And the ratio becomes 7:9. So A doesn't change, which also here it doesn't reflect the change. Which means here I've added in terms of ratio 4 of liquid B, which is corresponding to 9 liters. Clear? Which means initially I had total of how much? A and B, 12. If 4 is 9 liters, 12 would be 36 liters. Which means I had initially 36 liters. That is 36 liters. Which means 1 will correspond to 3 liters. 36 upon 12. I have been asked the quantity of A. So it will be 7 into 3, 21 liters. That's the answer. Okay. Next. A milkman dilutes 36 liters of pure milk with water. The percentage of milk in the solution is now 75%. How many liters of water did he add? Very simple. So he has 36 liters, right, in which there was 100% pure milk, and then he adds water in it. So he adds water in it. Now the solution there is 75% of milk. So milk is 75%, then water would be 25%, which means the ratio would be 3:1. But now we added water, which means this milk doesn't change, which means this doesn't change, which means 3 is still the milk, which is equal to 36 liters, which means one value would be 12 liters, which means the water is 1, which is 12 liters. So you must have added 12 liters of water to make the ratio 3:1. Okay.